On to soccer now. It's been quite a two-day stretch for Charlotte FC's head man, Dean Smith. Yesterday, Smith celebrated his 54th birthday, and today he signed a new deal with Charlotte FC to keep him in the Queen City through the 2027 season. Now, Smith originally signed with Charlotte to become the third head coach in club history back in December of 2023. It's a well-deserved extension, and it comes on the heels of Smith leading the Crown to the playoffs for the first time ever, as Charlotte nearly advanced to the second round in 2024. Now the club is off to a hot start with another home match coming up this weekend against San Jose. Now, the culture Smith aimed to establish upon getting to Charlotte is certainly on full display. It is fortunate to have the chance to keep building it here in the QC.
When they approached me, I spoke to my family when we was only too happy and take great pride and honour in being offered a new contract at the club. And, you know, as I said before, we want to make this club one of the ones who are challenging relentlessly for all competitions every season, and you know, that was what we will aspire to now.
And we mentioned the solid start from the Crown. Dean Smith becomes the first Charlotte manager to get a second deal with the club, Mike.
More than deserving. Yesterday we heard from midfielder Andrew Privet about the Crown's latest win in Cincinnati. Tonight we're sitting down with their analysts to look ahead to their game this weekend. Here's Carla Metz with Eric Krakauer.
That's right. We're talking about Charlotte FC out to their best start this season, and a lot of that has to do with their head coach, Dean Smith, who we just found out today, extended through 2027. Obviously, he has a huge part in the club's just the way they've kind of evolved over the last couple of years, but a great start for the club so far.
Yeah, absolutely, and great news that came out a day after his birthday. Dean Smith came into the club, changed the culture, is somebody who likes to get everybody in the club involved. So it's fantastic news to have a coach of that pedigree staying with the Crown. We
talk about, you know, a great start, but there's been maybe a lull when you look back to the game against Inter Miami. You talk to some of those players, they were really disappointed there. Yeah. They were able to come back, win against Cincinnati. Now they've got San Jose this weekend. I mean, it's kind of a great thing for them to be able to focus on a new opponent, especially after a big win.
Yeah, let me just say that it's been a really difficult start to the season in terms of the schedule. You know, you start against Seattle, one of the favorite teams in the Western Conference, and then come back home and have to, you know, start the campaign in front of your fans against a rival, so you need a result. And after that, having to go to Miami, then come home to play Cincinnati, one of the favorites in the Eastern Conference. So if you asked Dean Smith before the season started, would he be happy with 7 points through 4 games? I think he would have said yes, although there is disappointment that they didn't get a result in Miami. They were the better team before Miami went down to 10 men. After that, they just sat back. The game against Cincinnati, you score 2 goals, you keep a clean sheet against such a good team. That was a really impressive performance. I thought their first half was one of the best halves of football that they've played ever. And I think it is a really good sign that indicates that this team is a contender in the Eastern Conference and maybe for some silverware as well.
I think you think back to last season and just the scoring opportunities lacking maybe a little bit in that area. It doesn't seem to be the case this season. You got Pep, you got Abada. Like, who are those players that are really standing out to you right now?
Well, Zaha had a great start. To score an assist in his very first game at home against Atlanta United is something special. He's still growing into the team. It's very difficult for a player who hasn't played in this league to hit the ground running, but he has. I thought Pep Biel was fantastic against Cincinnati, but honestly, picking one player is very difficult when everybody has really done very well. And we have to talk about Christian Kalina against Cincinnati. He made some big saves.
We got San Jose, another good team. Give us the full breakdown of what to expect in this match.
Well, the first thing that fans have to do is forget that this team was very poor last season. The worst defensive record in Major League Soccer. Bruce Arena has come in. He's galvanized the squad. He's brought in 2 of the most lethal forwards in Major League Soccer history. Chicho Arango came over from Salt Lake City. He was deadly with LAFC when they won the Shield. And then Josef Martinez, who is in the top 5 or 6 all-time scorers for MLS, so they're going to be very dangerous. This is a team that likes to attack. They lost at home last week, so they have something to prove. The good news is, I don't think they've beaten an Eastern Conference opponent away from home in 14 attempts. So I think this is a really good opportunity for Charlotte to get another win at home and to further propel themselves up the standings.
Yeah, and you think about the supporters that are going to be here, making that environment a little bit harder to play in. You're our ambassador for Charlotte FC. Like, what are some things that we can look forward to, whether it's this weekend or maybe a little further down into the season?
Bums on seats, the most important thing. And players, when I talk to the players about this, they all really stress the point that the atmosphere that is generated at the bank really motivates them, propels them. When they're out of gas, they need a little bit of inspiration. They get it from the stands. So fill the stadium.
Eric, we appreciate your time, and hopefully we can be talking about more wins from the Crown real soon.